Good morning, students. In today's digital electronic class, we are going to discuss the two concepts which we left in the previous continuation of the classes, that is CPLD and FPGA. So today class, we are going to discuss these two, CPLD and FPGA. So basically, what's the meaning of CPLD and what's the meaning of FPGA? So in the previous class, I have discussed you the concepts of your programmable logical devices. In that we have seen three types of it. One is the simple programmable logical devices. Second would be the complex programmable logical devices. Then we will be having FPGA. So that is FPGA is also one of the type which is considered to be the field programmable gate arrays. Okay, so these three things we are going to see in today's class. So basically SPLD is nothing but simple programmable logical devices, that is nothing but PLA, programmable logical arrays, programmable array logic, and PROM, that is programmable read only memory. So these three concepts already we covered in the previous class. In today's class directly we are proceeding with CPLD and FPGA. So in CPLD, first thing we are going to see its block diagram of it. So what is CPLD stands for? Complex, it's complex programmable logical device. So, right, so what is this complex programmable logical device consist of and how it is going to work? All the things we are going to discuss in today's class. So before proceeding with that, first thing we are going to see its functionality. Functionality in the sense we want to see how it is going to work. So basically in any kind of programmable devices we must have input devices, then the processing, then the output devices, right? The conventional block diagram of any computer consists of three things. One would be the input part where we assign the inputs value to it. Next would be the processing unit, then we do have the output, right? So in the same way, when you want to design the CPLD, that is complex programmable logical devices, will be having two things. One is the input output block. Likewise we'll design the input output block, and they'll be having PLDs. Since I am saying it is a complex means whenever we want to design multiple units to it, whenever we want to take any value which consists of multiple things, then that values can be considered to be the complex. Complex means it can work for multiple programmable devices, right? So here this is considered to be the input output / output device or block. Okay, so first thing we are writing its input output block, then our device, this is nothing but a block. Okay, next it consists of the PLDs and it consists of programmable switch matrix. So internally when you want to see in the middle, this is called programmable switch matrix. For what it is useful, that I'll tell you. So this is our PLDs. It is going to interconnect with your PLDs. So you can connect these number of PLDs at a time. Right? It is going to give the connections. So it can going to interconnect with the PLDs in this way. So this arrow mark indicates what? It is a bidirectional, means it can give the instruction to it and it can take that particular instructions. That is called bidirectional. It can take the instruction from programmable switch matrix, again it pass it out to the PLDs, programmable logical devices, again it will fed back. So all are like this only. So this is also bidirectional. So this all are bidirectional, right? So this also we had a block called input output. So input / output block. So this how your PLDs, that is CPLD, has been designed. So what is the input output block it's going to take? It take the instruction from programmable switch matrix. It is going to interconnect from it. So interconnect in the sense, again it is going to pass the instructions from it and it will give the instructions to the matrix. So this is what, again this is also a bidirectional, right? So this is there, and similarly this also input and output. So students, so this is the complete structure and the block of your CPLD. So what is the CPLD consist of? Consists of three parts in that. One is the input output block. What is this input output block? From here it is going to take the instructions. After taking the instruction, it is passed to the programmable switch matrix. What is the meaning of the switch matrix? Out of this multiple PLDs, which PLD you want to do the programming, on what PLD you want to work on it. So based upon that, your programmable switch matrix is going to decide out of these number of PLDs at what particular PLD it is going to take the instruction from it. So this is what a one way. It can take the inputs from the particular part and it is going to operate based upon this. And again here also we'll do have input output block. Meaning is that if you are giving the instructions the input value from it, it is going to produce the output over here. Or else if it is giving the input from this end, it is going to get the output from the other end. That the whole part, what are the things completely we are going to see in this, that completely consists of main functionality is this like a programmable switch matrix. Why we are saying matrix? Because we do have number of PLDs. Out of that, it is going to select a particular PLD. So when you want to going for selection of that particular PLDs, that can be designed by using the CPLD concepts. That is complex programmable logical devices. So based upon that, it is going to operate the given value for that particular function. So whenever we want to do any kind of functionality to CPLD, it is going to operate in this manner. So the main concept in this particular part would be the configuration of CPLD that always going to be taken from the IC pins. That is nothing but integrated circuit pins. It is going to take, and it is also have the micro cells. Micro cell means from the switch matrix, they are going to take the cell called micro cells, and by using the micro cells, it is going to produce the product terms and it is going to give programs by using the micro cells, which is nothing but the flip-flops, and it is going to manufacture by using the architecture of CPLD, which should have the individual PLDs. So it has a functional block on it. By using the functional block and gate arrays and by using the multiplexer gates, all those things, this particular CPLD is going to be work. So what I read just now, what are the things I said you? First thing I said that the main concept of your CPLD is there. In that we will be having programmable switch matrix. This is going to be working as a switch. That depends upon, what is that, what I said? It is depends upon macro cell. Typically it is having 8 to 14 micro cells. So I have taken 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, right? So it can be 8 or it can be 14 micro cells. What are that macro cells is all about? Macro in the sense it is going to take that particular cell. From that particular cell you are going to do the programming. After doing the programming you can able to write the output. That means the functionality of that particular functions you can able to do it. So how do we get this micro cells? That micro cells you can get it by considering the flip-flops. So flip-flop is going to work like a functional unit. Functional units or and this micro cells that can be designed by using T flip-flop, D flip-flop, JK flip-flop, so on. So by using the flip-flops your PLD is going to work. So by using this input device or input block, it is going to pass the instructions to the programmable switch matrix. Over here it is having a number of PLDs. So what is the use of PLDs, students? So PLD is nothing but programmable logical devices, right? That means it's not taking the single logic, it's taking the array of logics. So PLD means it has two concepts. One is PAL, here I'll write. One is PAL, PLA and PROM. These things we have seen in the previous class, right? PAL stands for programmable array logics. In that we are doing the programming by making fixed AND array and OR array. OR is what? It is not going to fix with that. It is will be programmed OR array. So by using these concepts, and OR gates, multiplexer, demultiplexer, encoder, decoder, all kind of combinational circuits you are going to take over here, and you are going to take that particular thing by using these PAL, PLA or PROM programming concepts. So that can be used in these all types of PLDs devices. That's how your programmable switch matrix play a very important and vital role while we are designing the CPLD. Clear? So this is there. So when I said we are giving input to from this end, it is take from the PLD programmable switch matrix, and it is passed to the another input output switch from it, and out of n number of things, when we had 8 kind of PLDs I have taken over here, those are nothing but macro cells. By taking that particular macro cells, it is going to do the programming based upon the type of instructions we have passed. And how do we design it? By taking the different types of flip-flops in the micro cell. Make a note of it. Then our next concepts we do have is FPGA. So students, so next concept we do have is FPGA. So basically what the FPGA is all about? FPGA is nothing but field. What is FPGA? I said you field programmable gate array. The second concept would be FPGA. So what is the FPGA stands for? Field Programmable Gate Array. Okay, so what is this field programmable gate array consist of? It is a design of VLSI. So we had a domain in electronics that is called VLSI, very large scale integrated circuit ICs, right? So in that VLSI concepts, we are going to consider the FPGA concepts. So that FPGA is also going to used in VLSI domain, in which it is going to incorporate with the input output blocks of it, and it is this FPGA has been designed by Xilinx, a company we do have. It's called Xilinx. So this has been taken into consideration in order to take the arrays of gates, arrays of logics of the gates. They have combined and they have correlate and they have designed one concept called FPGA. In that, basically when you want to go for typical value, how they are designed, what are the things they have explained? It is, they said that VLSI circuit which can be programmed by using the user's location. So typically FPGA consists of array of millions of logic blocks surrounded by programmable input output blocks and connected together by using the programmable interconnection. And basically it is going to use a lookup tables, multiplexer, gates and flip-flops. So by using the particular domain of the concepts, it is going to be used. So what I read just now, I said that FPGA, when you want to design it, it can be designed by considering one thing is lookup tables. Lookup table. Second thing, we are doing the programming for it, right? By considering the multiplexer, demultiplexer, where you want to have multiple inputs. Out of that you want to select one of the output by considering the select inputs. Multiplexer, all the concepts of combination circuitry. So third thing I said that is going to be used for designing any kind of circuitry by taking the SROM, that is we will be having RAM over here. So by considering static RAM, by using these concepts and by using their different concepts, we'll see first thing for FPGA, we'll see the architecture given by the Xilinx. It's a company which they have explained about this kind of FPGA. It is used in VLSI domain and it is using a lookup tables, multiplexer, static RAM, designing like 16:2, 32:3, like that. We are different types of designing. By looking into these particular part, we are going to design the FPGA, right? So that FPGA architecture and the designing part we will see in the next class. Thank you.